Yo, what's good, family? Welcome to another episode of the Late Night Traffic Report. I'm your boy, Mr. Sincere.
And I'm your girl, Kay Callie.
And I'm Big Mike.
Tonight, in honor of what we're calling Black Men's Health Month, we're going to talk about the warning lights in our lives as Black men across the country and the cost of pretending everything is okay. Let's kind of recap some of the warning lights,
Okay.
right? Headaches, anxiety, depression, high blood pressure. That's a killer. So you talked about the mental. Let's talk about the physical ones. You know, our body whispers before it screams,
Mm.
right? The problem in many of us, we wait until it screams
Mm.
instead of when it's whispering to you.
Yeah.
Think about that, right? So let's talk about some of the physical warning signs, right? So we talked about high blood pressure,
Correct.
right? We didn't talk about sleep apnea,
Mm.
right? Chronic fatigue, like
Can't get enough of it.
you can't get enough rest, or you can't even bend down, touch your toes, or run up some stairs, or just your body is telling you something not right. You know what I mean? Weight gain, excessive weight gain, diabetes, heart disease, migraines. And then I think this is one that a lot of people overlook, uh, digestive issues.
Mm.
A lot of people overlook that,
Yeah. Yeah. Because that can
you know.
be triggers
It,
or
it,
warning
it,
for other
for an array
A real.
of things.
Yeah.
Most people, oh, I got stomach pain, or I got, acid reflux, or whatever case. I'm gonna get a ginger ale. What the?
Well, ginger. Well, in our community,
Yeah,
ginger ale
that's
is
like
the- is-
Motrin in the military.
that does cure all.
With ginger ale and Pepto Bismol and Tums.
Yeah.
And
Then
Tums.
then you got your holistic healers.
Mhm.
Eat a big spoon of mustard.
Yeah.
That's not going to help with stomach cancer,
Apple cider vinegar.
IBS,
Oh, yeah.
about the stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
the apple cider
So-
vinegar, I heard for high blood pressure. And obviously, we're not, advocating any of these treatments. Go to your doctor.
Yes, for sure.
Go to your
Yeah, for
doctor.
sure.
Get checked out.
So my point is, as a Black man, we often spend more money maintaining our vehicles than we maintaining our health.
Mm-hmm.
Say that
Now,
again.
as a Black man,
Okay.
right, we often spend more money maintaining our vehicles more than we maintain our health. That's real.
That's
Yeah.
true. Vehicle and our appearance.
I was gonna say you can insert vehicle, whatever your thing is. You insert, take out vehicle, and put your thing.
Oh, just
in.
fit, look, material things.
Material. But I think that also speaks to like the perception thing we want to present.
Well, you're good.
Your look,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Right. It's not mattering how I feel on the inside. It's how I show up. Is how I'm presenting. It's how I look. It's how I'm seen as strong, and
And that mentality absolutely has to change.
Yeah.
it does. It does.
I would ask the men that's watching, no matter ask you, Big Mike, when was your last physical?
April.
Good for you, brother.
Well, I started doing it, but now I have to do it twice a year regardless.
Okay. Good for you. Good for you. Not just because you were sick. It's just a
Right.
part of
It's part of
your recovery and your maintenance plan.
Yeah.
What about
Yeah.
you?
The last physical I had was February. I get mine every February.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's good. I think both of us have similar reasons and different reasons on why we do it.
Absolutely.
But I think the most important thing is we both want to maintain and stay healthy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something that most men rarely admit, and that's being lonely. And let's really unpack that because someone would say, well, how are you lonely if you're married? You can be You can be lonely and married.
That's the worst type
That's
of
the
loneliness.
worst type of loneliness, right?
Worst type.
Not being alone. I want to stress, we're not talking about being alone,
That's two different things.
but being lonely.
Yeah.
They are not the same thing, right? Why do so many men lose close friends? Close friends or significant relationships? Start with you. Start with you, Big Mike.
It's a growth thing, whether it's bad or good. Um, as you grow, mature, it's not necessarily age driven, but as you mature as a person, you start looking at people different.
Yeah.
Not that you're better than them, but you start evaluating them differently. Like you start listening to every piece of their conversation. You start evaluating who they're hanging out with. You start evaluating their drive. You start evaluating everything, and you start to understand that this is a person that I want to continue to grow with, or a person I want to back off.
Mm.
And it's not that you're better. It's just at some points you start to. Some people they grow apart.
Yeah.
If your destination is Seattle and mine is New York, we can't travel together.
Yeah. Not even have, yeah.
We can't travel together.
Let me move into the next one because I like your response for that. Why so many men lose close friendships. Let's talk about marriage and loneliness. Being lonely in marriage. Let's talk about that and what that actually looks like.
I think that looks like obviously being married, living in the same house, but not seeing each other, being there physically, but not being present still. And I think that happens a lot. I think that can happen. Why it happens is not intentional in a lot of ways. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily being distracted by another person or things. It can be what you're going through and you don't know how to process it yourself. So you're internalizing it. And then you're not also leaving the space for your spouse, you know? So you kind of maybe you're like living life with the blinders on, And I think it's easy to do. It's easy to do. It's easy to do and to do it and not know that you're doing it too. Because what you'll do, because you're physically present. So it's like, hey, good morning. How are you? You're like going through the motions, but you're not truly checking in.
Well, connected.
Right. You're saying, hey, how are you? Good morning. Good
First step
routine.
becomes performative.
Right. Because especially if you've been married for like everything's a routine, you know the person, like, okay, here's your coffee, here's it, but you're not, but they could be in front of you depressed, but you could also be depressed too,
Yeah. And I think
you know?
I think what you're saying is very valid, and I appreciate that because I think sometimes, or a lot of times, to your point, I think when you've been married for a long time, um, there's phases and stages that there's going to be some disconnection,
Yes.
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
that it does become performative. Hey, you're going to pay this, I'm going to pay that. We like where we live, we like the lifestyle we have. Nobody's going to really do anything egregious
Right.
to jeopardize that. But we are physically here, but mentally somewhere else.
And I think once you to piggyback on both what you're saying and agree with it, when you stop when you stop being intentional
Yeah.
and doing the little things because you're chasing the big things,
Mm.
you slowly start separate
Yeah.
because although you come, it seems like you're coming together because you all we both chasing our careers, but you doing this
Yeah.
instead of coming together because both of your careers are becoming
Something.
over your relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have to be intentional and do the little things. Hey, she like ice cream or a certain type of ice cream. Being intentional with it, or he likes a nice uh, drink or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
being intentional to say, hey, you know, you're still important to me, and
Yeah.
it's not the physical or sexual things. It's
Yeah.
the intentional things.
Yeah.
Just, hey, you're still important to me.
Right.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and given you're giving it not a different perspective, but just having your take on it, and just based off of your experience, I think that also, I think the whole marriage and loneliness, I think it's something that you touched upon earlier, or when you were responding to this question. I think sometimes both people can be in a depression state. Oh yeah, and they don't know how to express it or articulate it to one another.
Mhm.
And, in a relationship, especially in a marriage, um, both people can't be fucked up at the same time.
But they can't.
But they
Yeah.
can. But no, what I'm saying
I know
is,
what you're saying.
like the
I know.
expectation
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
one has to stay sturdy and stay grounded and
You want to be
stay
like,
within right
it's my
mind.
turn right now.
Right. You want to fucking
You
check out.
next.
Yeah, you know.
Hold on.
Okay, you had it for a month, that
Yeah.
for a month. And I think so many people are afraid to kind of really have that open conversation.
Yeah.
And I think again, it's ignoring
Right.
something that's
Yeah.
that's festering and building and multiplying into something larger than what it started out.
Yeah.
And then by the time you want to address it, it's too late.
Yeah. And I
You have grown so far apart. They're like,
You don't recognize this person, and to be honest, you don't like this person.
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. And I think it's to your point, I think when you're both are kind of navigating something at the same time, I don't think it's, some of it is, unintentional. You may not be aware because of what you're going through. But I think even when you do see it, what the other person might be going through, you're probably like, I can't take that on right
That's
now.
very true too.
So it's kind of a
You
little bit of,
yeah, you don't have any more in the tank
you
to
feel
give or
like
to take on.
so I think it's really important, like you said, communication is really key.
Mhm.
But the other thing, like I said earlier, I think is being also an advocate to say, hey, maybe we need to go to counseling, or we us individually need to go to counseling and talk to someone, because I think the other thing is we're here to support each other, but we can't totally fix. It's not our responsibility to
Take on.
take on your totally in that way. I can feel for
Right.
you. I want to help you. I love you. I want to support you.
But support and taking it on fully is two different things. And
Right. And I
yeah,
think you have to be real with yourself about, setting the expectation, because then you don't want to put an unreasonable burden on yourself and take yourself even further down, and then you can't help someone if you're not helping yourself.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back to something you said earlier. Ignoring is not gonna help it.
yes, yeah,
And in relationships, ignoring the warning
Oh, yeah.
sign is just like help.
yeah,
It's not gonna get better over time, and it's not gonna fix itself.
yeah.
Right.
It's gonna get to the point you got to bring that thing to the junkyard.
If before we move into the next topic, I think just from a black man's perspective, right? I think a lot of black men often surround themselves around people who need them.
Mm.
Hmm.
I think, and that's something I think starts from as a youth, as a child. Like we've talked about this several times. Like when you ask most women, what does a man have to do? What they're looking for in a man? Ultimately, regardless of the dimensions, like s- over 6 feet, six figures, six pack abs, all yeah, we get all that. But the most important thing or not the most important thing, but the thing that consistently comes up is providing, protecting. And we're not going to get into, what that really means because it's much deeper than someone, spending money or
Yeah.
giving money.
Right,
But
right, right.
what I'm saying is, I think most men, at the end of the day, you want to feel needed. You
Yeah.
want to feel, or they think they want to feel needed, but it's different than feeling loved.
Yes.
Feeling needed versus feeling loved is two different things. And I think what happens to a lot of men when they do surround themselves around people who they feel need them,
Mhm.
they in turn don't have anybody that they can lean.
Lean on. Yeah.
So you've exhausted everything. You've given it all away.
Yeah.
And I think that does tie back into mental health, which then ties into physical issues as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we talked about this, I don't know, a couple episodes ago. Like, if you stop showing up and stop doing everything that you do for people, do you think they would love you? Or something to the effect. I can't remember exactly what it, but I think that's a real question.
That's a good question.
There are a lot of men, a lot of black men, and I'm talking about black men that's head of households and doing the things they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like, at some point, if you're not being intentional, if I like a favorite drink, or if I like whatever my little favorite thing is, it doesn't have to be expensive. It's just a thought. But when you stop doing that, and I feel like I'm giving everything,
Right.
I feel like I'm giving my all, and I don't feel like it's reciprocated, or I don't feel like it's truly appreciated,
Mhm.
then that can put me in a negative headspace. That can put
Right.
me in a place where I feel like, okay, I'm just a checkbook or a wallet.
Wallet.
You know what I mean?
I'm just here.
Just
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
That was that Will Smith episode.
Will Smith. Oh yeah. So I got a question. So when you said most men, um, you know, surround themselves by people, surround themselves with people that need them. So how much do you think that plays into that driver, right? I'm intentionally or subconsciously surrounding myself with people that need me. So how much do you think that plays into the the feeling, the pressure
A
of,
lot.
you know?
It warning signs, constant frustration,
I know, but I guess what I'm saying is,
emotional withdrawal.
but how much are you all, willing to accept then that in some ways, you're placing yourselves in that? You know what I mean? Like, or you have to accept that that's somewhat, it's almost like also being a leader. With that territory, you're taking on more responsibilities than the others.
You're saying
You know what I mean?
you're saying we're placing ourselves there, or
Well, I said that
society
is
places there.
right. Yes, that's what I would say. But when you said what did you?
Or not even it just biblically has it placed us at where we supposed to be the head of the household.
So I think it comes some of the pressures come with it.
Oh,
But
A little.
you see, now that you said biblical, it's a true statement. And the biblical said, and when Adam and Eve, God didn't call Eve. He said, Adam,
Adam.
where you at?
exactly.
He didn't ask for Eve
Uh-huh.
because why? I left you in charge.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about the pressure is nobody's going to, and it's no disrespect, but
Yeah.
place is it's a helper and the head.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nobody's going to a helper to say what's the problem. Even on your job,
Yeah.
if you're the supervisor, they're not going to the
And
employees. They come into you and
that's
say,
why
"What's the issue?"
yep, and that's why as a leader, I told them if it's right or wrong, you need to let me know because at the end of the day, they're not coming to you; they're coming to me.
Going to you.
But let's unpack that really quickly before we get into rapid fire.
Okay.
Really good discussion.
Yeah.
But I do want to kind of talk about the check engine lights in relationships, because I think what you just said, that's a good segue into that.
Okay.
So when, again, if I'm the head and I have all this pressure, all this stress, one of the questions you ask, or I may have asked you, how does a woman,
Woman, yeah.
you, sup- you,
Why do we support?
the role is that you're conscious and aware of those pressures and those
Yeah.
stresses that I have on me. When I come home, you should make this a place of warmth, of love, of welcome. When men keep saying, black men especially, peace, that's a real thing. And I sound like a broken record because even though we talk about it on 50 episodes per year, it's translated in every different language. But I think there's still a huge disconnect. You brought it up, and I love that, you said from the biblical perspective, a helpmate. That's what that is. Like, when we come in and we come back home, that home needs to feel peaceful. That home is the only place that throughout our journey of that day, The home is the only place when we can truly, genuinely be ourselves. And we should be able to let our guard down, and not feel that we got to continue to fight, not feel that we're continually trying to compete.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's the most important role. That's the thing that a woman in a relationship, or a wife in a marriage can give
Yeah.
peace. That man needs to find solace in his home. And you got to be able to give space to let him decompress, right?
Yeah.
And unpack a lot of the stuff that he's gone through that day, that week, that
Right.
month,
Yeah.
without adding more to that.
Right. Yeah. I agree. I agree. And I think what could help, I think from a woman's perspective, I think what can help with that is, and I think you did talk about this, is the vulnerability of of stating like, hey, I'm going through something, or hey, today was a tough day. Um, because I think sometimes men stay silent because they feel like burnt out, no one cares. So but here, but I also said too, it's also doing your research, doing your education, that, you know, your husband may not come home and just say, "Oh, I need to talk," or lay on the couch and, let you rub his hair and, tell you all about his day. That may not, but it's almost like in some ways, I will say, I feel like from a woman's perspective, kind of feel like you got to kind of be like a mind reader in ways, and I think that's hard. Um, that can be hard, and then you may try to do things because you don't know what it is, or so I think the communication, or finding ways to communicate, even if you don't want to talk all about it, but you gotta I kind of gotta know that something's going on, or you can sense it. But I think also, and I think from a men wanna help and wanna be problem solvers, but I think also in ways women are too, especially when that's your wife. I mean, she wants to support you, be there, help you, and so I think it's hard watching anyone you love go through something and you can't help them.
I think you make a really good point. What I would say is, I think most men don't realize that they're actually burned out
Yeah, exactly.
until it starts affecting how they love.
Mm,
And, some of the warning signs is, constant frustration, emotional withdrawal, lack of intimacy, frequent, constant arguments over frivolous things, feeling unseen,
yeah.
and most important, this is the biggest one, feeling unappreciated.
Mm.
So tonight's topic, we were supposed to have three men on the panel. Boogie couldn't make it tonight.
But you can make
So
it.
I'm gonna let you ask. I'm gonna do something different
She
tonight.
was right.
I'm gonna let you ask the rapid questions because it's geared towards.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Rapid fire. All right. You already answered this one, so this one's gonna be easy. When was your last physical?
Everywhere.
April.
All right. When was your last mental health check-in?
What's considered a mental health check-in, if you don't mind?
I think I have one every day, but go ahead.
It can be with a mental health professional, or let's say it can be with the trusted confidant.
I do mine every morning, every night, checking with God.
That's what I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, who can you call at 2 a.m. when life gets heavy?
Mm,
A name?
God.
Yeah.
I'm call God 2 in the
So,
morning.
2 in the morning.
Most times, I guess I don't have to call. I could roll over.
I about to say I'm rolling over. Hey, wake up.
But I have some people that I could call 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
They'll be ready to grab their toolie, their strap, because they think we got major problems.
Because I think that's
But
something.
it was like, why is he calling me at 2 in the morning?
Don't call them, man. Call me. Because if you're already home, we're not going back
Right.
out there.
All right. Are you living or just surviving?
Both. I'm in the middle. I'm trying to figure it out.
Sometimes both.
Exactly. I mean, I'm just
Sometimes
gonna keep
both.
it tall.
Okay. Do people ask how you're doing or just what you're doing?
I'ma say how I'm doing.
How I'm doing. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Mm. What are you carrying that nobody knows about? These are getting kind of deep.
What am I carrying?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Regret.
Mm. Very
Wow.
okay.
See, I'm not like I look when I get on here. This is therapy for me. I'm telling it all.
Oh, it was terrible for me today. I released a lot, man.
I know.
I think the audience.
I saw you tearing up.
I think the audience.
Remove the tissue box.
Yeah, yeah, I told him I got the 50, man. I don't mind shedding the tip.
We keep them right over there like we keep them over there for cooking.
Yeah, I didn't release a lot to the audience. I'm gonna say that's a good one. I'm gonna say the same thing, regret, because you got a lot of regret in mine. And like you mentioned with your son, some things it wasn't always gravy.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Are you exhausted or have you just gotten used to being tired?
Mm.
I'm gonna say I got used to being tired.
Used to being tired.
I think I'm exhausted.
Exhausted.
Yeah.
All right. So if your body could talk, what would it say?
Lose some damn weight.
Okay.
My body said treat me like it used to.
Mm. Okay.
All right.
If your mind could talk
I
tonight.
used to work out. That's
Me too.
I was really into fitness, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like 3%, 2% body
Yeah, I
fat,
used to
something like
work out
that. You know what I mean?
If your mind could talk tonight, what would it say?
Give it to God and let it go. That's what mine is.
Mm.
And I ain't even trying to be on no real religious.
No,
I'm just telling you that's real because that's what that's been playing over and over in my head for like 2 weeks now. Like
And mine, give yourself grace.
Yeah,
I love that.
Give yourself grace.
Yeah. All right. Last one. What warning signs are you currently ignoring? What warning signs are you currently ignoring?
I'm not ignoring any warning signs. Like, I've already disclosed that, recently in the last 6, 7 months, I've been having high blood pressure.
Mm.
And it's probably because the medication I take for my migraines. Yeah. So
That's a whole nother episode.
yeah, it's a whole nother episode. But for me, I think that I'm not I'm not ignoring any signs, whether it's, you know, mentally, physically, or relationships. I'm addressing all engine lights.
All right.
My back and Bert. And I was just thinking, man, if this thing's still acting up tomorrow,
You ain't gonna be on that sprinter?
oh no, I'm viewing the sprinter, but after I get burned, I'm gonna go get the doctor. Cause look here, this thing here is
Mm.
as you get older, brother. I was good this morning, back was feeling good. I did my stretching. I get in the car. Oh God dang.
Let's see. Hold on. Maybe the problem. How often have you been stretching?
I stretch every morning, every
Oh,
day.
okay. Okay. All right. So you're not, yeah, it's not muscle memory or,
No, I gotta stretch, man,
yeah,
because
yeah.
body
Okay.
body be hurt.
Okay. Cool. Cool. I really enjoyed this episode. And like I said, this is going to be a 2 to 3 part series.
Mm.
I know we have a lot of different things coming up this month. So, but I think that, for the consistent viewers,
Mhm.
people who really, lock in and like and subscribe, no matter how many it is, I think we owe them this. And I think that we
Yeah.
know personally, um, a lot of black men that watch the show, and it's conversations that we have when we're together,
Right.
whether we're in the barbershop, whether we are out at a lounge having a cigar, whatever the case may be. So, we're definitely going to be committed to at least do 2 to 3 parts. Like I said, we're definitely going to end up having a licensed therapist here on the show because I think that there's a lot of people that's going to need the information
Mhm.
that he's going to provide.
Yeah.
But overall, before we wrap up tonight, um, I love the conversation. I love the insight. I loved your perspective
Thanks.
from not
Thanks for
only just
having me.
not only from a from a wife perspective, just as a black woman perspective,
Yeah.
and the things that
Yeah.
you've experienced, obviously with your husband, perhaps with your father, grandfather, uncle, whatever the case may be. And as always, Big Mike, thank you for opening up. And I think tonight, not saying that every other show you don't open up, but I really appreciate um, digging into your personal story back.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I think that a lot of people,
Yeah.
it resonates, right?
Yeah.
We could get on here and talk about all the other nut shit and all the other stuff that everybody else do.
We don't talk about nut stuff.
Sometimes we do. Like we talked about Meg Stallion and like irrelevant shit nobody really.
But this is, I agree with you. This is serious,
No,
and
this
and people sometimes see you on the other side, and people
Yeah.
you have it all together, and for the most part we don't. And I
Yeah.
know people
Work in progress.
we're working progress, and we go through the same things everybody else go through.
Yeah.
All right. Before we close, any final reflections for either of you before I close the show?
For black men, have these conversations,
Yeah.
and if you
Not only have the conversation, but act.
at them,
Yes.
and if you're in a group of gentlemen and you're not having relevant conversations, I hate to say it, find you a new group.
New group. Yeah. Yeah.
Find
That
you a group.
that's big because something I was gonna say throughout the show and it kept slipping my mind. But your support system, I think, is so key because while going to a mental health professional is obviously what we all should do, everyone may not feel comfortable with that. But most of us have our communities, our networks of people that we encounter every day, whether it's at work, in a church, at home, our neighbors, so if you at least surround yourself with good people that, will just simply ask you how you're doing and won't always accept I'm good because no one's always good all the time.
I love that. Again, as black men, let's stop telling ourselves the most dangerous lie that we're good. Remember that the check engine light doesn't come on because the car hates you. It comes on because it needs some immediate attention. Maybe your body is trying to tell you something. Maybe your mind is trying to tell you something. Maybe your spirit is trying to tell you something. And maybe, just maybe, the strongest thing that you can do isn't to the strongest thing you can do is to listen.
Yes.
Remember, ignoring the warning light doesn't make the problem disappear. It only guarantees that the breakdown will cost more.
That's a good one.
Tonight, we're asking every black man listening to do one thing. Schedule the appointment, make the call, start the conversation, take the walk, get the checkup. And as always, choose wisely, stay sturdy, and we'll catch you in traffic. Hey.